everybody? How's everybody doing? Good? It's so cold. I guess like we're on. How is everybody? Good? What are we going to talk about today? You know, I've never been to a con where you sit on a stage and I got nothing planned, so this should be exciting. Should we talk about cartoons? Yeah, let's talk about cartoons. Does anybody want to get into cartoons? That little kid and this kid. Isaiah does? What is that? I can't see shit because I'm so old. Hey Isaiah, you're going to learn some interesting words today. I don't know if anyone's ever told you, they even have a drinking game for my mouth.
It's the Transformers animated complete all-star combat, and you're in the book.
No, because I'm Black Arachne. Yeah. I love it. Isaiah, again, hi. I'm going to come kiss you later. Well, I'll tell you something about getting into cartoons. I'm probably the worst person to give you advice because my daddy was a huge, he just passed away. His name was Don Franks, and he was a huge cartoon animation video guy in Canada. And he was in an amazing cartoon called Rock and Rule. He played someone named Mock. He was in Heavy Metal. He was the original Sabretooth. Oh God, I'm trying to remember the name of the character he played in Ewoks. Because I was in Ewoks when I was a little girl too. But anyway, all that to say that it was pure nepotism. I was simply the child of someone that was working a lot. But that's not to say that that's the only way to do it. I always give this same advice, and that's the first thing, know how your own voice sounds like. And that means get a tube recorder. Or I guess I'm so old. Yeah. They call me Amish tube now. I know there's some tape recorders. Get your cell phone and get a book and read aloud. And I like books and poems used because you have to tell a story. So you can get some acting into. So you get a nice passage from a book or a poem. Get your cell phone and read aloud and get really comfortable with the sound of your own voice. Don't try to manipulate it. Don't try to be a character. Just get to know what you sound like and get to know what it feels and sounds like to tell a story and to communicate the meaning of what you're reading. So take it from there. And then go back and do it again once you're comfortable and try it with a little character. And they don't have to be silly, they don't have to sound daffy duck and shit. Just see what does it sound like when I modulate my voice up. What does it sound like when I break my voice down? What does it sound like when I'm really raspy? What does it sound like when I'm light and airy? Of course, right now I sound like Brenda Carter, so everybody felt like they were drinking Jack Daniels, smoking mentholated cools, but the truth is, that's the way to do it. Once you think you're tight, once you feel in yourself, the next thing to do is wherever you live, whatever town, whatever city, call the biggest agency in that town and ask for the voiceover department. And then you ask them if they please refer you to the best voiceover class in that town. Because there's so many charlatans out there that'll take your money and don't mean shit. But if you get referred to by a top agency in the voiceover department, they'll send you to a legit voiceover class. And very often those voiceover classes are taught by actors and actresses, and even sometimes by casting directors. So if you really got something, they will find you. Any questions? Nothing. Boy, you guys are so lively. Relax. Yes.
In terms of like with disability or something like that,
Yeah.
how do you keep this up?
Just this and this and this and this. No. That's actually the truth. You know, I've always had a voice like this. Even when I was a little kid, I sounded like 1,000 miles a third room. I don't know if you guys remember Froggy from Little Rascals. Yeah. I always sound like this. I mean, they used to joke about me, my parents' friends. I'd be like, Mama, you know what I mean? I just always sounded rough. So I don't do much. No matter what I do, it's going to stay rough, you know? I mean, sometimes I would suggest a good night's sleep. I would suggest a warm-up. You know, I warm up just by having a conversation on the way to work. Sometimes I'll sing along to the radio or sing out loud. And it doesn't have to be long and la la la, me, all that bullshit. I mean, I'm not knocking it, to each his own. But I found that simply warming up, and in the process of warming up, getting some consciousness about where I'm going and what I'm about to do. You know what I mean? There's something, I think, a combination of warming up your mind and your voice at the same time, getting yourself ready for where you're going and what you're going to do. It's very important. Just as important as being vocal ready as being mentally ready. Do you guys want to talk about? Yes.
The other day you were talking.
Oh, that's you.
It's
You're the one who said I look like a combination of I was serving formation and Little House on the Prairie.
Yes.
And I just love that.
But
Because
you were,
I walked by and he
though.
was like, "Oh, you serving formation and Little House on the Prairie reunion."
Did you guys see her yesterday? She's wearing like a prairie dress, but she had on that big, wide It was perfect. You talked about before sort of the dichotomy between a couple of your characters and how like you have Foxy who is like
A hot mess.
crazy.
Yes.
And then you have other characters that are more disciplined, a little bit more structured,
Yeah.
more like role models, you would say.
Yeah,
Foxy,
yeah.
I think Foxy's a role model.
I think Foxy's a role model too. Because some of us want to let our freak play. Yeah.
How do you deal with those dichotomies? Like, and do you find more of yourself dealing with the good and the bad?
Listen, that's a dichotomy I deal with every day in myself. You know, I'm somebody's mom, but I'm jive as hell. You know, I just think we don't lose that duality in ourselves. You know, we're all a little. You know, my husband calls me a junkyard dog. You know, and some people think I have a little bit of class. I put the ass in class. But I think that duality is just it's easy to juggle because I think we all have it. You know how to act at your grandmama's house, and then you know how to be, you know, at your house. You know, there's things we won't do. I'll roll it at my grandma's house in the bathroom, but I'll smoke it at my house. You know what I mean? So that's yes, yes, darling, my friend.
You still do that in general?
No, I don't do it anymore.
But I mean, if
Oh, you mean
start
do other
out,
people need demos?
No.
Yes, demos are very important. And you need that's why I recommend a voiceover class with a real voiceover teacher, because they will get to teach you how to do that demo work. You don't want to come with a flim flam homemade demo. Unfortunately, it won't get noticed. And I say that with the most respect. If you want to go get it. Yes.
Is this is not just the children's door.
Number 5. Better station. Nigel, stop.
If you were to choose two male characters, who would you date, Maurice or number 2?
Oh shit, I don't want none of it. It's all that gun point. All the gun. Yes. Yes.
So hypothetically, but hopefully, let's say
Hopefully
Jenny
hypothetical. Yes.
let's say Jenny kind of continues. How do you see your character moving on and hopefully
Miss
as
Valerie Gray.
BFFs with Sam, hopefully.
Oh, she probably sound like me, because, you know, Valerie is so spoiled and rotten. I mean, you know, people love Valerie, but she really was an asshole, you know, and she just had, you know, she was a bit of privilege there. I don't know what Valerie would be doing right now. Probably, you know, own some kind of clothing store and, you know, do that phantom gig on the side, I'm sure. Yeah. Valerie's interesting. Yeah.
Have you ever just stopped and stepped back and looked at the accomplishments you've done?
That's such a great question. You know, I actually had that experience at this con. A small girl came up yesterday, and she just didn't really have much to say. She was pretty young, and she just pointed to each character, and I just had fun with her, and I did each voice. And I've never done that, obviously. So it took me on a bizarre little journey. And she walked away and didn't know that she didn't kind of rock my world. So, yeah, seriously. Yes.
Actually, but I don't know how you. Another album.
Yes, actually, I am making, well, it's not an album, I'm making an EP. Yeah, so it's 6 more songs coming soon. I was actually in the midst of working on it, and my father split this planet, and it's so devastating. So I couldn't finish it. And I think I'm Yeah. And you'll be just able to get it on iTunes. I'll probably just do a big social media push. Yeah. You want to hear another record? I didn't know anybody wanted this little broad stuff. Okay.
I listen to urban, the street fairies
Street Fair?
all the time.
Yay!
And I love Save Yourself, that song.
He's got a tattoo of Saviors. Look at that.
Nice.
And that will be on the EP.
Yes.
Because
That
nobody
was
knows
very
about
good.
that. Very few people know about
That
the
is
song
one of
Save
the
Yourself.
best videos if no one's ever seen that.
Check out the video for Save
One
Yourself.
of the most powerful moving things ever.
Oh,
Ever.
thanks.
Yes,
Thank
Lisa
you.
Bonnie Jordan.
Oh yeah, Zoe's in it. My goddaughter. Yeah, Zoe.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I can make a difference. All right, yes, sister, what's up, girl? Yeah. You have womb amnesia by subject to change? Don't I just sound like an irate chipmunk? You did? All right. God bless the freaks, man. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, listen, I give my left titty to be 40 again. Yeah. Okay. Old Broad Rock and Roll coming soon. Yes, Mama. Isaiah's mama. Oh, Isaiah's sister. I should have known you're too cute. What's up, Isaiah? How would they resolve it? I don't know. How would you like them to resolve it? Tell me, because I don't know. I really don't know. I think she's going to come back, though, so maybe we'll find out. And they don't tell me. But I'd like to know what you would like to have. What would you like to have happen? Okay, you tell me after. I get your backstage pass. Yes. Yes. I love Kia. Oh, no geek on that. That means holy shit. And then what is she? Oh God, I just remember it. I'm trying to remember how she would say her name. Listen, you guys, it's been a long time. I smoke a lot of weed. You're lucky I remember anything. Okay. Who else? Whip it out. In the back. Oh, Mr. Pop and stuff. What's that? Phone brain, they look suspicious. I did work with Don Adams. I think he was an asshole. I just don't remember him being very warm. I shouldn't say he's an asshole. I just don't remember him being very warm. But I wouldn't even take that as the truth, because don't forget, I was like 11 going on 12, and as a kid, I don't think I had the reverence to know who Don Adams was or to even give a shit. You know what I mean? In retrospect, I like to act braggadocious and be like, I worked with Don Adams, but truth be told, I don't even really remember. I just mostly remember that Inspector Gadget was an amazing experience. It was my first cartoon. I got to work with my daddy, and it changed my life. So the reverence is more for the experience of the cartoon than for Don. But, as an adult, I think he's hilarious. I just don't really remember. So. Anybody else? Yes.
Do you ever find that it's hard to go from, let's say, something more mature in the morning to like a little kid show?
No. You can tell I'm just schizophrenic. I'm all over the place. But I think a lot of it has to do with I have a very bizarre upbringing. I was raised on an Indian reservation in Saskatchewan, Canada, with no running water, electricity. I lived in a house made of mud that my parents built. And then after leaving the reservation, we lived in a school bus for years. So I didn't formally start school until the 4th grade. And then I dropped out in the 10th grade, so stay in school, kids. I have about 6 years of formal education, and even that was sporadic because I was working as a kid very, very fast. But I wasn't exposed to a lot of television. I had relied a lot on, we had no money, so a lot of I believe my success in animation comes from having a really great imagination. And I also didn't have the peer pressure that I think a lot of kids who have to go to school have, where you have these images that you have to live up to. I was never afraid to make a fool of myself or to look silly or to make mistakes. And it's really helped me my whole life. I don't even care what anybody thinks. I'll go different.
Just got a question. I just want to know that your character Freddie
Yes.
was he's a beautiful character.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I grew up with watching Different World
Yeah.
really love that character.
Resonated. Yeah.
That she was something unlike anything you've ever seen on television.
Well, that's the thing, you know, I get a lot of that about Freddie, and I love that about Freddie. Freddie was me, you know, I went into audition, and then they started interviewing me and talking to me, and they shaped that character around me. And what I loved about Freddie was it definitely made me feel like I wasn't on an island, because I had young sisters with big crazy hair and crazy clothes and crazy beliefs. These little freaks coming up to me everywhere going, I'm Freddie, I'm Freddie. And I said, yeah, we're all Freddie. I mean, the thing was just at that time, and unfortunately I feel a lot at this time as well, is we don't get to see the multifacets of African American culture and personalities. So Freddie existed before I exposed her on camera. We just weren't allowed to see her before. But I am profoundly proud that I am the one that got to bring her to light. Yes.
What are one or two like of your fondest or funniest memories from Different World?
From Different World? Well, I met my first boyfriend on Different World. My first boyfriend was Kadeem Hardison, and he was the best first boyfriend you could ever have. We used to ride motorcycles together. There's a funny story, because when I was growing up and I saw Happy Days and Fonzie and Pinky Tuscadero were riding their motorcycles and they were doing wheelies and shit, I looked at my mother and I said, now that's real love. And when I met Kadeem, I fell in love with him because, well, my father collected motorcycles, so I've been riding since I was a young girl. And Kadeem, when we met, had this beautiful BMW motorcycle, and I had an old vintage Harley Cafe Racer. And it was really Fonzie and Pinky. So one of my fondest memories is falling in love with him and having this beautiful relationship. I mean, we are still great, great soul friends to this day. As a matter of fact, my husband, his daughter is an intern at my husband's company. And another great thing about Different Worlds, it gave me Jasmine Guy, who is a soul sister of mine. My oldest daughter, Bria Little, was born on the same day as her daughter, Amani. It gave me Debbie Allen. It also just gave me an opportunity to have an actor's experience that a lot of actors never had before. I mean, I know you guys, if you're fans of Different World, we have Richard Roundtree, Lena Horne, Josephine Permise, oh my God, the list goes on of, pardon? Patti LaBelle, I mean, she's still here with us, pardon? Tupac, yes. We just had so many incredible artists there, but what you also don't know is behind the scenes were all people of color. The creators, the head writers, the executive producers, wardrobe, craft service, you name it. It was just brown all around. And I remember we'd have guests like Lena Horne would come be a guest and she'd say, by the way, I loved meeting her. She cursed like a sailor, smoked like a chimney, drank like a fish. That was my girl. Big up to Lena. I remember her saying to me, Miss Cree, we couldn't even come through the front entrance of this lot in my day. When I was your age, we would have had to go through the back, and we wouldn't have had a dressing room of our own. So for her to look around and see everybody in the cast, black, everybody backstage, off screen, all the creators black, it just brought tears to her eyes. So Different World was just groundbreaking, truly. And sadly, let's just pray collectively that we have something like that again. I'd love to see a Different World for everybody. I'd love to see it for Indigenous people. I'd love to see it for Native people, for East Indian people, for Chinese, for Japanese. We all need a different world where we can have that kind of experience to be seen as a race to the world, you know? Yeah. Yeah. But bye. Call me. All right. Yes. Yes, you. Yes, you in the way. favorite character to do over the years? Oh, if I want them to have to be the Foxy. I love the Foxy because, Foxy, Sylvia, jump back, got a kiss myself. Just something about the Foxy. Foxy was a reverend. Foxy didn't give a motherfucker. Foxy didn't give a good goddamn if it's gonna pay her rent. And there is just something so liberating about a character so wrong. I mean, on the spectrum, she's just like, eh. And I don't know, I just appreciated the irreverence, the political incorrectness, and, she's a caricature, she's the best of us, she's the worst of us. And I love her for it. And I won't ever apologize for the Foxy. Never apologize for finding, loving Foxy love. Yes. Anybody else? Yes. Andrea Romano is one of my favorite people on planet Earth. First of all, as a woman director in this field, she is so powerful and so successful. Second of all, she's the best weed. No. Second of all, she is a mighty, tender-hearted human being. And she gave me my very first job when I left home. I left Toronto on my own at 16. I call it the hubris of youth because I have 2 small daughters now, and if they tried to move to another country at 16, I'd lose my fucking mind. But I did, and I'm glad I did. And Andrea Romano gave me the part of Elmira in Steven Spielberg's Tiny Toons. So she changed my life. I love Andrea, and I'll forever be indebted to her. She's a good friend. Elma was round the world, and hug you, and squeeze you, and kiss you, and put a red ball in your mouth, and dig a hole, and we would play funeral, Bobby. You silly head. How fucking crazy is that character? First of all, I'll never forget the audition. When we do voiceover auditions, Isaiah, prick up your ears. When you go to a voiceover audition, you sit down and they give you a script, of course, but they show you a picture of the character. And that's when you decide who this person is, what this person is, what they sound like. They show me this freaky looking kid. She just looked batshit nuts. And they said to me, she's like a baby Elmer Fudd. And I thought, shit, I can't do a voice like Elmer Fudd. I'm never gonna get this. But then I looked up and she had a gerbil skull in her bow. And I thought, oh, this chick is crazy. And I thought, I'm just gonna play her as crazy as possible. So I went to the bathroom and I started talking like this. And I just kept talking. And I said it and there were some lines where she was like, and I'm gonna love you. And I just thought, I thought to myself, Cree, just go fucking crazy. And I literally got like 2 lines out and Andrea was on the floor. She was like, it sounds nothing like Elmer Fudd, but I fucking love it. So that was it, yeah. Yeah.
At this point, do they just give you all around the black
Yes. The answer is yes. The funny thing is yes. No, but you know what? The voiceover community is, it's like this big. But there's some very fine young black female actresses coming up in VO. And so now I sometimes have to fight for that shit. Ain't that a bitch? They better get out of my fucking way. But the truth is I do get given, at this point in my career, I'm almost 50 and I get given a lot of parts now that I don't have to audition for. I think I've paid my dues, And oftentimes the ones given to me are the black characters. But you know what? I'm proud of them. Like you said when you were asking, do you ever look back at your career? I have at my, get out of here. No, I have at my table. I have at my table with where my pictures are, where I sign autographs. One of the autographs that I signed is just all my brown characters. And I always look at that one fondly, Of course, if a brother and sister comes up to the table and they're scanning around, I always just go, this one. And they're like, how did you know? I know, girl. Yes. Anybody else? Yes, I was Dulcie, the dragon.
Elsie,
Yeah.
and if you read how the character was going through the comics, I bet would you have come back for the role again?
I didn't. What happened to her in the comics?
Oh well, they changed her slightly. They still kept like her clumsiness.
Yeah.
She was more the lines of wanting to be with her own kind again.
So they like kicked her out, basically.
Well, what happened was for exposing herself to the outside world, she basically became an outcast for her own kind.
What the fuck is that?
And throughout the series, like it was more focused on her trying to be with her people again.
What is that about?
She finally gets that at the end.
Yeah.
But then, like, she becomes one of those underrated characters until they rebooted the continuity. Now they made her a leader of a freedom fighter group in life.
Well, that's okay. But first, isn't that a bitch as a chick? You gotta first become annoying, and then you get to be a freedom fighter. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know. When I was Dulcie, I was a kid. I was probably like 17 or 18. I don't even. I mean, it's been a million years now. But I loved being Dulcie because I remember that was the character. I have a little brother. I don't know if you guys watch Stargate. Any of the Stargate or Stargate. My baby brother, Rainbow Sun, played Aiden Ford in Stargate Atlantis, and God, I love that little thing. Well, I guess he's not little; he's like 38, but he'll always be my baby. And that was the character, one character that my baby brother loved. So I am enjoying Dulcie because Rainbow loved Sonic the Hedgehog. When he was little. Yeah.
In terms of like, 'cause I know voice acting maybe example is just pretty competitive.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, how do you guys handle coming back together
As a team? Well, like I said, we're a small group. You know, it's not like the world of on-camera acting where there's just thousands and thousands of actors. I mean, you guys are literally hearing the same 15 people in every cartoon. You know what I mean? It's really teeny. It's tiny. I know when I go to work, it's just going to be the same folks there. As a matter of fact, when someone breaks in, it's like, who let you in? You know what I mean? I mean, it's always shocking. But then there's some that, you know, I mean, when you're undeniable, you do break in. I mean, one of my beloved Torontonians, Eric Bauza, is a perfect example, you know. The first time I met Eric was like a couple years ago, you know, in one of the gigs, and he just blew us away, and now he's part of the everyday crew. I mean, we are kind of like a gang, the VO gang. But you know, like I said before, I think I said in another panel, I really have a belief, because I've been an on-camera actress and a VO actress, and I make records, and I don't adhere to competition. I believe that the jobs I get are only mine. I have gone into auditions and just taken a dump. I mean, just been awful. And I get that gig, because that's my job. No one else was meant for that job. I've gone into jobs where I thought I was perfect, calling my agent, God, I nailed the shit out of that. Please, just let me know what time to report to work. And bitch, you didn't get to party. You know what I mean? So, I don't think that Tara Strong, as a matter of fact, who's one of my dearest friends. We grew up together in Toronto. I was on her first cartoon with her, Hello Kitty. She was Hello Kitty, I was Catnip, the bad guy. I used to ride her to work on the back of my motorcycle. But that's the reason I throw that in is because we're all family. So something happens in VO that doesn't happen in any other theatrical aspect of this profession, and that is we refer each other to jobs. It's crazy. You know, like, I'll go in to play a princess, and as you know, I don't sound like nobody's damn princess. I sound like the evil queen or the shitty sister. So, or the white girl's best friend, or whatever. So, but every now and then I get to be the white girl, or the white boy, or the inanimate object. But I know, you know, I'll go in to do an audition for a princess, and I'll get halfway through, and I can see that it's like, you know, pulling teeth. And I'll say, you know what? You know who this job is for? Tara Strong. Or you know who's better for this? Jennifer Hale. You know what I mean? It ain't me. You know, and then I've had people like, you know, I have all the time, Gray will call me up and go, girl, I just got you a gig. Because it ain't my job. They need it to sound rough. You know what I mean? It's yours. So that's the generosity. It's just not competitive. I think everybody knows their lane, and everybody stays there. You know, even when I'll never forget the cutest thing, like when Tara got the new Inspector Gadget, because they wouldn't let me audition for some reason. I don't know why. But she called me and she was like, man, should I do this? Is it okay? I want to get you a coupon for it. Can I take you out to dinner? I was like, bitch, just get paid. It's all good. But that's the camaraderie that we have, you know? And that's why I love voiceover so much. I just love it. And I don't know why that exists in it. I think it's because we're pretty much anonymous. Except for you freaks who love us for some reason, you know. Yeah, the freaks shall inherit the earth. But I think that's the difference. You know, when you get all that adulation and adoration and popularity, I think it can make things competitive. And it can, you know, really exercise the ego and make you think you gotta get everything. But you know, when you have this kind of anonymous job, it is more about the art and the friendships and everything else. So Isaiah, good choice of career. Yes, let's go there.
Can you just tell us generally about your experience working with Disney on Atlantis, like the audition and
I
everything?
loved it. Well, you know, I don't think I was the first pick for Kita. I think I was the last pick for Kita. And I remember walking in there and they, you know, really put you through your paces. They don't play at Disney. And I also remember thinking, don't get your hopes up, you know, because it's 1 in a million that get to play a Disney princess. So I just think I went in there like, whatever, I'm not gonna get this. And I was pretty damn shocked to get it. And then even more shocked when I got to work with Michael J. Fox, who was what a decent human being, what a kind man. And then also just the thing that they do in Disney that they don't do in other cartoons is that Kita looks like me, you know, they get your face, they do this 3D thing, you're literally, there's a mic and then there's all these cameras around to capture all your expressions and all your intake of breath and everything. So Kita's endearing to me because I feel like that's me, you know. So yeah, I loved it. And isn't it a bitch? Why can't she be a princess? She just got too much flavor. And she's so powerful. Like now, all of a sudden, Disney princesses can be powerful, but Kita was full power, energy, and strength, and self-contained and self-respecting from the jump. And I don't know why she's denied that. Yeah. I know you always remind me she is a queen, baby. Yeah, because she's a king's daughter. Yes. Isaiah. Yes. My sister has my question. Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday. No. Well, you know, listen, life is highs and lows. And the one thing I'd say is that career can't be your only high. You know, smoke weed as well. But if your career is your only high, then you are going to end up a cautionary tale. Because a lot of people that have, you know, those sad stories that we hear about where they go south, where they do drugs, and it doesn't work for them, it just works for me. No, where things go sideways, I think is because that career is the only thing to fill that void. But if you've got a beautiful family, or a man that loves you, or babies, or great sisters, great friends, something else in your life that is very, very healthy and good, then your career can do whatever it wants. Because your career will do whatever it wants. Nobody goes like this. You know what I mean? And nobody goes like this. And nobody goes like this. I mean, this shit goes all over the fucking place. You know, I've had years where I don't work at all. And by don't work at all, I don't mean completely. I mean, I've had years where it's like, man, I had like 6 jobs this year. Could you imagine in your life that you work 6 days that year? It would fucking destroy you, right? You have to live in your car. You know, I'm lucky my jobs pay pretty good. But, you know, 6 jobs will bring you down. That'll bum you out. I got a great man. I've got some of the best friends in the world. And I also am a singer. I also write. You know, I've got other things that I can do. And I got other things I want to do. And don't get me wrong, I was dragging ass. That was really sad. But that's the way it is. It just goes like it just goes all over. But I think it'd be the same if you had a job, if you were folding shirts at the Gap. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's a fucking drag. You know what I mean? It's gonna go all over the place. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, I've been fired. We've all been fired. I mean, I was the original Meg in Family Guy, and I got the boot. I don't think I was meant for that job. I kept trying to be funny, and it's a really straight character, and I have a hard time being a straight man. I'm too full of shit, and I think I have to have the last joke, and I just kept trying things out, and it just kept going over like a Led Zeppelin. So I think I only did one season, and then I got fired, and I've been fired from other jobs too. Shit, I've been fired from better jobs than that. Yeah, I mean that's just the nature of the beast. If somebody says they didn't get booted from a job or something didn't work, they're full of shit. Yeah.
Have you ever taken a role you regretted?
Wow, I've never taken a role I regretted. No, but I've taken roles that were really fucking hard. Yeah, I've taken some hard roles before, just like, video games are hard. I really like video games because you really get an opportunity for some dramatic acting work, but they're also such a pain in the ass. I mean, it's like one thing when you do cartoons and they give you a weekly script, it's like 36 pages or max 60 pages. They've dropped that video game script like, and then it's literally like this big. Wow. And you're on every page, and you're just like, you're walking like, fucking kill me now, because it's the same paycheck as this script. And by the time you leave, you're gonna sound like Scatman Crothers. Everybody's too young to know who that is, but or Harvey Firestein. You just it thrashes the shit out of your voice because, as you know, for video games, every time you guys press a button or fondle play with your joystick, I gotta go and we're not built to do that for 12 hours straight or 6 hours straight. I think Jess was talking about going to see his ENT doctor, and they say and we go and they go, what the fuck have you been doing? It looks like mincemeat in there, and it's like that's your job, but it's hard, man. That can be that's the only thing. I mean, I don't regret video games. They're just taxing, man. Really taxing. Yes.
Two quick ones.
Okay.
One question is, have you ever had the opportunity to do any work with your brother?
Rainbow and I have never, holy shit. Oh no, we did. When he was really little, when I lived in Toronto, I did a lot of on camera as a kid. I was a child actor. And there was a big sitcom in Toronto called Hanging In. And I remember my whole family, because my mother's an actress as well. My whole family, we played this hippie family, and Rainbow was like 1.5 years old. And we were this hippie family whose rainbow van had broken down outside, and we came inside to this foster home, and everybody was saying their names, and I was like, I'm, Springbrook, and he was like, and my name's Rainbow. And he was like 1.5. That was our only gig together, yeah. But that was the first job he ever did. And my first job was in a movie with Julie Christie and Warren Beatty called McCabe and Mrs. Miller. My parents were in it, and I was in a papoose on my mother's back. I was probably like 7 months old. And I have 2 daughters. My oldest is 6, brave little wing, and my youngest is 4, hero peregrine stormborn. And they just did their first VO, a show coming out on Disney Junior called Vampirina. So starting in young, keep the family tradition going. Yeah, how cute is that? Yes.
This one's sort of weird, but it's
Yeah.
kind of interesting. But how do you get over making bad decisions? How do you in life?
Oh God, I think I suffer and toil and torment the same as everybody else. You know what I mean? Night sweats, panic, drive my husband crazy. That's how I get over making bad decisions. But I think one thing I will say, God rest his soul, my father. My father, I loved my daddy. I can barely talk about him without breaking into tears. But my old man had a bunch of great sayings, you know. And one of the things he used to say was, I just need one more big failure and I'll be a huge success. And he's exactly right. Because I can't say that oh, is that a real baby? Give me that baby. Give me those lips. What's up? I'll call you later. I can't say that I can look back on my career or all my stumble bums, all my fumblings, and say today that they were bad. You know, we learn from that shit. You know, I learned from the time I walked into the studio with an attitude, and it was a mess. I didn't do that shit again. You know what I mean? Or I learned when I went out the night before and partied with my girls and did a bunch of purple microdots and, you know, stayed up till 3 a.m. and then had the nerve to go to work an hour later. And that was a fuck up. I learned from that shit. You know what I mean? Were they really bad ideas? Did I not go home and go, fuck, my career's over, what have I done? You know, but I never did it again. So I recovered from my mistakes by not repeating them. Yeah. Yes. Yes, I love a left field question. I'm always parallel parked in an alternate universe. Oh, you late, brother. We were talking about it. It seems that everybody wants this old broad rock and roll. Yes, old lady rock and roll is coming back in 2017. Yes, I actually am working on an EP right now. And Lenny will be a part of it as well. Yay! Not the whole, probably not producing the whole thing, but at least the song. Oh my God, that voice. Can I tell you something? Listen to the sound. No, don't go anywhere. Listen to the sound of that voice. Do you hear that? I'm going to tell you something interesting. Lately, I've been being replaced by kids and VO, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a resonance and a tone to innocence that can't be faked. I can do this and sound like this and say that I'm a baby, but I've been through too much shit for you to not know that it's an adult. And that's something that I just work on and try to capture. I mean, I actually tape little ones when I hear them, you know, throw on them, can you say this, can you say that? I make my kids say stuff, because you just can't recapture innocence in your voice. Isn't it amazing? Our experiences are so held in this body that you just can't fake it. You know, it's like, go on with that white wedding dress, Miss Bang, but we were all there, you know, when you were asking for beads. Okay, so yes. Anything else? I digress as a profession. Yes.
Do you have any interest in being back on screen?
You know, I do get back on camera every now and then. You just don't see it. No, I do. You know, the nice thing is I have a lot of friends that are directors and producers, and I do little guest things here and there, and now I do it because it's fun. I mean, to tell you the truth, on camera used to kind of give me a little bit of anxiety. I didn't start as an on-camera actress. I started as a VO actress. And, God, I love this voice. I just want to eat them alive. Do you guys need to be mauled? Because I will do it. I will hug you and kiss you and squeeze you and hug you and love you. Look at now, they're just like, oh my God, she's crazy. But you're hired. But yeah, you know, if something comes along, and if and when things come along, I say yes to them if they feel safe and fun. And if I'm with friends, then it's easy yes. Yeah, baby. Did you just say blah, blah, blah? I thought you were like blah, blah, blah. Okay. Everybody's a critic, man. Okay. How cute are they? Oh my gosh. Yeah.
With I know like you do on screen sometimes.
Yeah.
You name that as voiceover.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you have a lot of friends who like are stage actresses and screen
Yeah.
actors.
Yeah. Actually, all my friends are mostly on camera. Yeah.
So with the advent of direct to consumer, like the Amazons and the
Yeah.
Netflix and Vimeo, and how like pretty much consumers can just get their content as
Isn't
they
that
want
crazy?
directly. Has it affected, especially like being a person of color? I
Yeah.
know it's like way tougher just for you beyond it, just like how it always was. Do you feel like with the advent of all this direct-to-consumer stuff, are there like more jobs? Is it easier to get consistent work?
Can I just tell you, there's so many jobs. This is an amazing time, Isaiah. It's like there are a billion channels, there are a billion shows, there are a billion things. My man works for, my husband works for a company called 3BD, and they represent all the YouTube stars in the world. Listen, now's the time, you don't even have to go to an audition. Your homie can hold up a cell phone in your basement and you can become a superstar. It don't take much but drive and passion and commitment. I don't know if you guys have ever read an amazing book by Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers, but if you haven't, you should pick it up because it's a good way to accomplish what you want to accomplish in this life. It's just about practice gets it done. You know, put in those hours and something will come of it. Listen, it may not be exactly what you thought you were going to get, but it'll be something great, I promise you. Yes?
How do you handle when you have to do recordings
Yeah.
when you're sick?
When I have to do a recording when I'm sick, I just don't do it.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm super desperate or if it's like tough titty, we have to get this show done, I'll go in and do it half-assed, and it probably sounds half-assed. You know, you do the best you can. People get sick, you know. Yeah.
Does that add to the personality of the character?
No. No, because not unless they're supposed to be sick. Because you know when you're watching a cartoon and a character's all of a sudden sick, you're like, what's wrong with this? This sounds weird. Are you sick? Yeah. Yes. You're just fixing your hair? All right, girl. Anybody else? Because we're going to wrap it up soon. Anybody else got anything? Huh? No? Yes? Maybe? Okay, well, I got something to say, and that is thank you all very, very much. And I also just want to say that keep coming to cons. You have no idea how good you make us feel, because we are we are the uncelebrated and the hidden. Yes, you got something?
It's funny you say that. Like,
Yeah.
I always assumed that when voice acting, you're like invited to so many cons. Like, all right, let's get this.
No, it's not true. And you know, I always say God bless the freaks, and I say it because I believe that us outcasts, us pariahs, we are multiplying and we are coming out and we're going to take over these fucking squares, and soon it'll just be the freaks. Because the freaks are in everybody, they're just too scared to admit it. And I think it's very important that we support comics and fantasy and sci-fi and all of the things that get us off this sad, little, predictable planet. Because there is more out there. It's a deeper world. But let me stop because I'm going crazy. But I just wanted to say I love you all very much and thank you for the kindness. And I can't wait to see you again at the next one.
Thank you.
I would say be good, but be bad. It's more fun. What do I do this to take it? I'm just going to walk to the car. Hey, driver.